A man must understand, you lose yourself when keeping someone becomes more important than keeping your dignity. This is truth. Caring deeply sounds noble until you start tolerating disrespect. When your peace depends on someone, you've handed them the leash to your mind. The Stoics practiced detachment by delaying reaction and questioning emotional judgments. You'll learn today how to care without surrendering your self-respect or control. By the end, you'll become the kind of man who can give his heart without surrendering his respect. The danger begins quietly. You send a message. They don't respond. 10 minutes becomes an hour. You check your phone again, then again. Your mood changes before they have even done anything to you. That is the first warning sign. Their silence has entered your mind and started making decisions for you. Most men misunderstand emotional detachment. It does not mean becoming cold. It means refusing to let another person's behavior control your character. Epictetus built Stoic discipline around one brutal distinction. Some things belong to you, and some things do not. Your judgment belongs to you. Your response belongs to you. Another person's attention, approval, affection, and decisions do not. So when someone pulls away, the question is not, how do I make them come back? The better question is, what is this situation asking me to become? Because if your first instinct is to chase, you have already allowed fear to choose your behavior. Think about a man who gets disrespected by someone he deeply cares about. Normally he would explain, then explain again. He would send the long message. He would try to prove his intentions. He would accept an apology that changes nothing because losing the person feels worse than losing his dignity. That is where caring becomes self-abandonment. The issue is not that he loves too much. He has attached his peace to an outcome he cannot control. And once you need someone to stay, you become tempted to tolerate whatever keeps them there. You overlook the insult. You excuse the inconsistency. You lower the standard. You become easier to manipulate, not necessarily because the other person is calculating, but because they can feel that you are afraid of losing them. That changes the entire relationship. A boundary you are unwilling to enforce is not a boundary. It is a request. And a request made from desperation sounds very different from a decision made from self-respect. This is why Stoic detachment starts before the confrontation. It starts with the pause. Someone criticizes you. Don't answer immediately. Someone ignores you. Don't invent a story. Someone threatens to leave. Don't beg. Someone misunderstands you. Don't spend 20 minutes defending your character to a person committed to misunderstanding it. Pause. Ask what actually happened. Then ask what you added to it. Because the event and your judgment about the event are not always the same thing. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly reminded himself to stop being ruled by reputation, praise, and the opinions of others. His concern was not whether everyone approved of him. His concern was whether his own conduct remained worthy. That changes the question from, do they respect me, to, did I respect myself in the way I handled this? That question is harder, but it gives your power back. Now consider what happens when someone becomes distant. An emotionally dependent man sees distance and thinks, I need to fix this. A detached man sees distance and thinks, I need to understand this. That difference is enormous. One reacts to fear. The other gathers information. Maybe they are busy. Maybe something changed. Maybe the relationship has weakened. Maybe you did something wrong. Maybe they simply don't value the relationship the way you do. Detachment allows you to discover the answer without contaminating the evidence with desperation. Pulling back emotionally can make you see people more clearly. When you desperately need someone to love you, you become willing to misread them. You call inconsistency confusion. You call disrespect a bad day. You call neglect distance. You call repeated disappointment something you need to be more patient with. But when you stop needing a particular outcome, reality becomes easier to see. You don't have to hate them. You don't have to punish them. You simply stop arguing with the evidence. And that is real emotional strength. It also changes how you handle conflict. Suppose someone says, if you really cared about me, you would do this. That sentence can pull a dependent man into proving his love. But a grounded man can ask, is what you're asking consistent with my values? Because love does not erase judgment. Compassion does not require surrender. Forgiveness does not require unlimited access, and caring about someone does not obligate you to accept behavior that destroys your peace. There is another situation where this matters even more, when someone threatens to leave. This is where your deepest attachment gets tested. The instinct is to negotiate against yourself. I'll change. I'll do better. Just don't go. But what if the relationship can only survive when you betray your own standards? Then what exactly are you saving? The Stoics understood that loss is part of life. You can value something without pretending you own it forever. A person can be deeply important to you and still be outside your control. Painful, but accepting that pain is healthier than building your entire identity around preventing it. So the next time someone pulls away, don't immediately chase. The next time someone disrespects you, don't immediately explode. The next time you feel misunderstood, don't immediately defend every detail. And the next time someone threatens to leave, don't immediately abandon yourself to make them stay. Pause. Observe. Choose. That pattern is where emotional detachment becomes practical. You are not suppressing emotion. You are refusing to let emotion become your commander. And eventually something changes. You stop measuring your worth by someone's attention. You stop checking your phone for evidence that you're still wanted. You stop performing for approval. You stop confusing anxiety with love. You stop calling desperation loyalty, and you discover something far more valuable than making someone respect you. You become a man who respects himself, even when nobody is watching. That is the real purpose of detachment. Not to make you care less, not to make you harder, not to make you impossible to hurt. It is to make you harder to control. Because the strongest man is not the man who feels nothing. He is the man who can feel everything, and still choose his character over his fear. He can love someone and still walk away from disrespect. He can miss someone without chasing them. He can be rejected without begging. He can be misunderstood without collapsing into explanation. And he can lose someone without losing himself. That is when caring stops being a weakness. Your heart remains open, but your dignity remains yours.